Flosstube, Elena here, the Stitching Farmer. It's been probably a couple months since my last video. It's currently March the 20th, 2020, and we are in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. So kind of a crazy time right now in the world. It's interesting because this isn't just, a United States problem, it's a worldwide problem, which is different than when we have natural disasters and that sort of thing. So a lot of people are currently quarantining. I work in a pharmacy, so pharmacies have to stay open, so I don't get to quarantine. And let me tell you, it has been insanely busy. It's almost like when we prep for hurricanes, people getting their medication so they can evacuate. Very similar to that. So super busy. I come home exhausted every day. And there is no end, at least with hurricanes, there's an end in sight once the hurricane hits. We tend to slow down after that, but there's no end in sight with this. So we're all just trying to stay healthy, lots of hand washing, lots of hand sanitizer going around when we can get it. So, and trying to get people, I work for Walgreens, so we put lines on the floor for people to stand on 6 feet apart from each other. I never thought I'd see something like this in my lifetime. It's just surreal time. Everyone's panicking and they've shut the beaches down around here. And it's right in spring break, so spring break's pretty much over now. No restaurants, no bars, no beach. So it's just kind of crazy, but we'll get through it. And I just hope sooner rather than later. So other news, we had to put one of our cats down. My black kitty Oreo, she was very sick. She had kidney failure and she got to where she couldn't jump up on the bed anymore. Very hard, very sad thing to have to do. My little kitty, she seems very sad. She has been sleeping in weird places, and every time I sit down on the couch, she has to be in my lap. But it was very difficult to have to put her down. My husband and I, we've been together for almost 20 years. We started dating when I was 18, and that's the first time since we've been together I've seen him cry. So I felt bad for him because he's the one that took her. I don't know, I couldn't deal with it, so I had to work that day too. So I couldn't be there for it. We didn't know they were going to put her or have to put her down. We kind of suspected it though, but trying to hold out hope maybe there's something they could do for her. But I was pretty sure her kidneys were gone. So she was 15. She had a good long life, but it was still hard. So let's see, what else? Not a whole lot else. I've been very tired though after work and dealing with the craziness. So I haven't gotten a whole lot of stitching in these past few months. I usually just come home and go straight to bed. But so I do have some good news though, in the midst of all the gloom and doom we see in the papers and on the internet every day. I get to make a new Christmas stocking. So we are expecting a new baby. It'll be our third one. We currently have 2 little boys. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but we're hoping for a girl this time. But if I have a third boy, at least I know what to do. My husband's like, I don't know what to do if it was a little girl, but I'm sure we would figure it out. So I haven't gotten very far. I just started it a couple days ago. Let's see, what did I do with all the... So with their threads, they glue them in here, so always just hole punch and then thread them through. I should probably thread them through with the knot way. That might be a little bit easier, but these are all the colors there. And then there's even more colors, lots of blue. So this is stitched on white, so all the blue has to be stitched. That's quite a bit. There's some empty space, but not much. Like right there, that's not stitched. Sorry. So this is current progress. Let's see. Not very much so far, but just started working on that's the snowman stocking there. This is in case you're wondering, this is an almanac frame. So it's very easy to use. I've showed it a couple times on a couple videos, but basically this dowel rod holds the fabric in place there. So I'm not quite through my first trimester yet. I am 13 weeks. I'll be 14 weeks Sunday. So we're almost there. I figured that's probably close enough past the point of worrying about a miscarriage. And I think in this day and age, we're more open to talking about if we do have a miscarriage. Show my belly. So not too much of one yet, but I know it's gonna get bigger. All my maternity clothes are long sleeved. My boys were born in February and April, so I don't have any short sleeve maternity clothes, so I'm gonna have to buy some. I guess I'll have to do it online because all the stores are closing down. So let's see, what else do I have to show you guys? So I've fallen in love with the Sweetheart Tree, their band samplers. I have yet to do a band sampler, but I really like them. So this one is Busy Bee Sampler. I think I saw, I can't remember if it was Instagram or on a Flosstube video that someone had done this, but I really like it. And it does come with, I got it off of eBay. I don't think it's available to buy in the store anymore. Here it is. Oh. So it has a little, it must be silver or pewter because it looks like it's tarnished a bit, so maybe I can clean it up. And then some little beads there. They kind of look like rhinestones. And I also purchased the Love Sampler. This was on sale on 123 Stitch, and I was like, oh, I love that pattern. It uses, let's see here, number 8 and number 12 pearl cotton. So I've stitched with it before with needlepoint, but never on this type of ground cloth, the linen. So I'm not sure how easy or hard that's gonna be. So we'll find out if I ever get to start it, but there's a lot of interesting stitches. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's not just cross stitch. You've got some Bargello, diagonal stitches, diamonds, woven satin stitches. So there's a lot of various different stitches. So I like doing stuff like that. I think they're fun to do, the different stitches. Let's see here. I really wanted to start this Easter parade since they reprinted this pattern. But then I was like, I really need to try to see if I can get the stocking done before the baby gets here in September. But I just love that pattern. It's so cute. And I bought the floss to go with it. I just love all the colors here. So all the purples and the pinks that are on it. Very pretty colors that it uses. Probably gonna end up saving it for next year. And I really wanted to do Snow Village too. I bought the first 3 in the series, but that'll probably have to be later on down the road thing. Once baby comes, I know I won't have a whole lot of time to be stitching. So I gotta get it all done before he or she comes. So we're still kind of like in shock. I only have 1 ovary and I'm 37, so I'm like, how did this happen? But I guess that's all you need. So, but we're excited. It was a surprise. This wasn't a planned pregnancy. My other 2 were. So we're excited though. A September baby. I have to be pregnant during the summer though. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's so hot and humid in Florida in the summer. We're in the northern part of Florida, but it's not as hot as Miami, but it still gets hot up here. Be spending a lot of time in the pool, probably. We're planning on moving, but it's kind of up in the air now with the coronavirus. I don't know. I need to email my realtor and see what she thinks, if they're even showing houses or anything like that right now to people. I don't know. We wanted to list our house next month, but I just don't know anymore what's gonna happen. I wanted to move in end of May or June, but maybe it will get under control and we can still move over the summer, at least maybe towards the end of summer though, instead of, I want to do it at the beginning. So it won't be as big then, but we'll see what happens. Everything's just kind of up in the air. Oh, I forgot to grab one thing, so let me go grab that. All right, so I had to run upstairs, so I'm a little out of breath, but I forgot to grab. So I actually won this kit from Just Add Needles. She had a contest where she had a bunch of photos that she had taken from her vacation, and you had to name what city it was from. So it was the Lilith of Labrador Mermaid from Mirabilia. I just love her. I think she's so pretty. Look at that tail. It's just gorgeous. So she has 2 water lilies, 1 braided cryonic, and 4 different color mill hill beads and 2 treasures. There's the list. But she's so pretty. And here are the beads. The bead pack there. It's hard to see with the glare. I was hoping I could get the treasures at least, but looks like they're mostly just the type of, I think you call them bicones. Doesn't really say. Then it's got I'm not the biggest fan of stitching with the big beads. I like the littler ones better, but they tend to not want to stay in place as well as the little ones. So that is the water lilies. This one's real pretty. It's called Monsoon. And that one is fresh pink. It looks more white on the camera, but it's a pale pink. And this cryonic is a really pretty color. Sparkly lavender. It's a number 4 braid. I've learned since this comes off a spool, it's very curly. So I have a flat iron that I use like what you would do your hair with. As you can tell, I don't do anything like that with my hair. I use my flat iron more for my thread than on my actual hair. But it gets that curl out and it makes it much easier to stitch with if you flat iron it before you use it, because when it comes off the spool it tends to just spiral. So let's see. and I went ahead and bought a piece of fabric to stitch it on. I don't know when I'm actually going to get to stitch this. I have way too many irons in the fire and just not enough time to do it. I wish I got to quarantine like a lot of people do, so much time to stitch, but it's okay. So let's see. With the painted fabrics, there is a right and a wrong side. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but they get dye spots on the back side, so you want to not use that. So this is an under the sea fabrics. It's called Midnight Mermaid, and this is a 32 count linen as a back quarter. And I can't decide if I want to do it like with their head up this way, or I'm thinking probably the other way though, probably this way for orientation wise. So I think the tail will stand out better on the darker, and her hair is pretty dark, so it should stand out good on the lighter color. So it's kind of an ombre-ish. So again, that was Under the Sea fabric, Midnight Mermaid, if you're interested. All right, so I can't remember if I have stitched at all since my last video on Versailles or not, but I figured I'd just go ahead and share it again. I'm really hoping to find the time to get this done, but I've lost interest in it, and so now it's just kind of more of a hassle to want to stitch it. Not a hassle, but I just don't really have any desire to stitch on it any longer. I've lost motivation, but I'm so close to being done. I just, I need to bite the bullet and just do it. All I've got left is, so there is the back side of Versailles. There will be a gate here, and then I've still got to do all the plants that go along there. They go, oh, it's both sides, up this side too. And then the beading, which when I beaded Sparkling Peacock, I believe that one has a lot of beads. It's one of the most heavily beaded pieces. There's a few that are more, but it took me about a month to do. That one, I did all the stitches, the cross stitches, then all the specialty stitches, and then the back stitching. And this time I've done it all as I went along because it was such a pain. By the time you get to that point, you're ready to be done. So I've done it as I went along with this piece. So I did save the beading for last because I just worry about when it's rolled up like this that the beads will get crushed. I do, once I start beading, I will put a piece of batting here so I can roll it up and the beads tend not to get crushed so bad. But so I've really just got to do it. My cat, well, before she passed away, she kept laying on this piece, so there's all this black fur on it. So I'll have to give it a good roll with the lint brush and get all the hair off before I start stitching on it again. And got the cute little peacock feather needle minder. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it around. I do have a few pieces I want to show you up close on. So let me stop it again. Okay, so this is a piece I've been working on. This is the Just Nan Spring Mouse Scissor Roll. And I'm currently working on this part. Here is my progress. So I've gotten the 4 panels done. see if I can get you zoomed in a little bit better here. So each one has a little mouse. You can see them there, 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 and there. And then I just gotta do this part, and then the very hard part is actually finishing it. That is definitely not my favorite part to do. So this is all stitched with DMC. I've got a few specialty stitches, the waterfall and the fountain, the, let's see if I can pick up here. So there's the leaves on the flowers here, there and there. This is like a bouquet of flowers, a basket, the vines, the water fountain, and then the wisteria with the trellis there. So she's doing one for each season. Winter hasn't come out yet, but summer, spring, and fall have. So I doubt I will get them all done this year, but hopefully I'll at least get spring done. And I've done the little mouse too, but I can't find what I've done with her. I haven't actually done the finishing. I did do one finishing. Oh, let me get that and show you guys. It's very hard. So this is Frosty Winter Mouse, I believe was his name. I haven't completely finished him. He still needs whiskers. He will wear a little hat. And I have to put the scarf in too. So I haven't done that part yet, but the hard part was sewing up through here. That was the difficult part, and then you have to sew them to the base. The cardinals are stitched over one. The stitching was definitely the easy part. Putting them together was the hard part. And then also made the cube he sits on. This was hard too. I think I overstuffed it a bit. It's a little too full. So the 4 side panels look the same. This one also isn't completely finished. I will have only one side will have a little scarf, so that's all that this one needs though. Oh, and each corner will have a snowflake on it. You just put a push pin in it, but I keep ordering push pins off Amazon, and I want the pearl headed one, but they're too big. So I gotta find a smaller one. There's the top with the Christmas trees, and the bottom has just little snowflakes. This was hard to put together. So each of the seams you gotta sew together. And of course the top one was the hard one because it's the very last one you'll sew together. But I'll just have to remember not to stuff as much next time. So you just do like that, and the little mouse sits on top there. So hopefully I'll get to, before Christmas this year, I'll finish putting his whiskers and scarf on him. So that was one finish I did have also. I did do a needlepoint. This is Graphite by Kathy Reese. Kathy Reese is, her site is Needle Delights. She doesn't live far from her. Oh yeah, it's right there on the side. So she's got a lot of the different colors. This was a small one. A lady in my guild gave it to me so I could try one out with the blues. So it's fun to make these different stitches. Kitty cat hair though. I saw that Fiber Talk is doing a stitch along in July for one of Debbie Rowley pieces, the Royal Garden. I was interested in doing it, but needlepoint, it tends to be a little pricey because they're almost all specialty threads, so it tends to add up. So you can see this blue here, it's got a sheen to it. I forget what they call it, but it's pretty. And then there was some wildflowers. But it goes fast because you're covering a big area compared to with cross stitching. So that was fun. And then I have one more finish to share. And I actually finished a Mirabilia. So this is Mermaid of Atlantis. So you can see it had the bigger beads. They tend not to stay flat. And that's one thing one reason I don't really like the bigger beads. You can see the smaller ones, they tend to stand up. I love her face. Look at this bouquet she's holding. Look at all those beads. I didn't do the best job. It's kind of hard to fit them all together. But it'll turn out pretty. And then her tail. Lots of pretty beads, and the Krynic doesn't really show up too well on here, but there's Krynic here, and then there's a lot of gold in here. There's cording. It was a pain to work with. Flat ironing it did help. There's 3 or 4 different colored golds in this. And then this is actually variegated with the water lilies. See if I can get it all in. Well, pretty close. And this is on, I saved it because I would forget if I didn't. So this is on Fiberlicious, Leave Me Be. She's got quite a few ombre fabrics. I have a couple other ones. I don't know what to stitch on them yet, but the color doesn't really show up well on this camera either. It's really more of a green. It looks more blue on the camera. But it was a lot of fun to stitch. I didn't stitch skin over one, it's just regular. But I still think it turned out pretty good. I like the way the over one looks, but it just takes a lot of time. So I'm very happy with her. Hopefully someday I'll get her framed. It's the hard part for me is to find just to frame them. It's so expensive. And there's so many I have that I want to get framed. I use clips to hold the sides. Sometimes I forget to take them off. I think it's distorted a little bit. Might have to figure out how to block it, or I forget what the terminology is. Stretch it to make it more square. I had done some of this at the top over like 5 or 6, and it had a lot of gapping in it, so I took it all out and redid it just over one square. I'm happier. You tend to lose a little bit of the sparkle, I think, but you don't have to worry about it getting loose and having the like kind of gapping on it. So that's that. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you do, please subscribe. And also have an Instagram. I need to post on it more, but same handle, Stitching Farmer. And that's about all I have for this update. So until next time, bye-bye.